writer's block, first stories, when I started writing, all that and more coming up in today's Q&A. Hi, I'm Sarah, and I help new writers find their creative confidence and boost their productivity. I've got 5 questions today, and we're just gonna go right into it. First question is, how did I start writing? Literally writing or writing? I would say 3rd grade English. I took a writing assignment and I kind of just went ham over it, and the end result was a really neat little handwritten story with, of course, crayon illustrations and all of that. As for officially writing, I was 17 and I got my hands on a burgundy hardcover composition notebook that was wide ruled, and I had the craziest notion. What if I could actually generate enough ideas or story pages to fill up an entire notebook all by myself? At the time, it seemed like a really impossible goal. I didn't think I had more than maybe 10 or 20 ideas tops, and I definitely didn't think I'd be able to finish a notebook in a hurry. Well, I think it took me a couple of months, if I remember correctly, like maybe 4 or 5, and I finished the notebook. Lists, sketches, ideas, story prompts, and once I finished one, I could not wait to start another, so I did. When I switched from composition notebooks to 5x8 hardbacks, I think I had about 100 and some composition notebooks finished, but it was a really simple challenge that turned out to be a very good thing for my writing life. I highly encourage all new writers to keep a writing notebook. Not a writer's notebook, but a writing notebook. Something that you can you're not just, putting down all your lofty writerly ideas, you're just kind of free writing, putting your hand on the page, letting it move, keeping lists of names, locations, places, that sort of thing. I always advocate for keeping a list because it makes it really easy when your brain is really tired, but your imagination just wants to go play. Okay, next question is writer's block. How do I handle writer's block? Okay, there are 2 kinds of writers. Those that believe in writer's block and those that do not. And I am one of those writers that does not believe in writer's block. If I have writer's block, it means I'm stuck on a point on the story that my imagination hasn't gotten to yet, and I need to either switch projects or go back and start from the beginning of the story. Doing little tweaks and edits and starting at the top of the chapter and just working my way down, adding in little details, or just making sure I know where I am in the story, because sometimes I get stuck because I can't remember where I am or what I was writing because I haven't touched that particular project for maybe, a week or a month, and I don't remember what was happening in there. In the event that I feel that I just can't write, this is usually due to burnout or just, pushing my creative juices a little too much and ending up all juiced out. In this case, I'll usually take a weekend and I'll just read everything I can get my hands on, whatever I've been dying to read or whatever novel I was in the middle of. I'll try to finish it that same weekend. Usually a lot of new music. YouTube is great for finding new music, and I'll either watch a comfort movie, something animated, like Howl's Moving Castle or My Neighbor Totoro. Those are my favorites. Or I will get me a really good mystery show like Murder, She Wrote and just binge me like a dozen episodes. By the time you're 12 episodes in and you just gave your imagination enough time to play in the background while your brain is occupied, because honestly, your imagination doesn't really need that much help. It just wants to constantly play all the time. And sometimes you just need to have something that your physical body is engaged with so that your mind can just sort of relax and go, oh, hey, let's get all that pressure off. Let's just take it off and relax. And you can be pretty surprised with what kind of ideas you'll come up with. If you find you are getting stuck, I highly suggest free writing for 10 minutes or picking up your favorite classic novel. I say classic as in pick something that is along the lines of being one of the oldest things you've read, so that it's easier for your mind to have more to work with. And try to modernize it. Put your favorite character in there, or think of the plot from the latest movie you watched and add yourself as a sidekick, okay? There's no harm in playing around with a story idea, and just because you have an idea or you write a couple of paragraphs or a page, doesn't mean you have to commit to it, okay? Sometimes you just need to shake some of those cobwebs loose and remind yourself that it's okay to play and have fun with your writing. First story. I think first story was covered in question 1. I had an assignment to write about 2 divers trapped in an underwater cave. It was creatively titled Trapped in an Underwater Cave. It was a 3-page story about 2 divers trapped in a cave looking for buried treasure. It was cute. It was fun. My first novel was actually more of a novella, and it was called Trial by Fire, and I came up with that I think when I was 16. Wrote it about a year or 2 later, and it focused on a girl who had fire powers, and it turns out she is given an escort job right before her new promotion. She does not want to be on this job, but as it was a special request, she has no choice but to take the assignment. And of course, things go wrong, things go right, and there's a happy ending at the end. But that was the first long story I had officially written from start to finish, where I was happy with the writing, happy with the project, and happy with the way it turned out. And overall, while I can see how well I've improved since then, I will be forever grateful for that story because it showed me what I could do with my own words. I like it a lot. Good question. Okay, question number 4. Okay, that's kind of 2 questions in one. The thing I love and hate about writing. You guys, this is actually easy. I love new ideas. I love being able to work on more than one project at once, which is why I love new ideas. And the thing I hate the most is editing. Oh my word. I hate the edits. Honestly, there are writers who love it and there are writers who hate it, and I am one of the writers who hate it. Question number 5. Best advice for new writers. You know how the most popular advice almost always seems to be to read or to write more? I'm gonna tell you to listen to music. Listen to all kinds of music. Music is telling a story through sound, and when you are writing, you are communicating the images in your head through words on a page. Sometimes what you see in your head is not what comes out on the page, and it's not because you don't have enough skill yet. Maybe sometimes it is, but it's more that what you see in your head is such a beautiful and incredible thing that you need more emotion to put into those words. And yes, reading will give you that. Yes, writing will help you to be more practiced, to make the pacing and flow and all of that a lot smoother, but music makes you feel something. And whether you write with or without music, that's a personal preference. You do what works for you. But having enough music in your head gives your imagination plenty of things to pull from. And you might be surprised how easy it is to recall a story idea if you have some kind of soundtrack playing in the back of your head for it. I have a couple of songs that anytime I hear them, I am instantly transported back to that first moment when I had the first barest sliver of an idea that spanned into an entire series. So listen to more music and let yourself feel. If you've enjoyed this video and you'd like to see more writerly content, check out my writing playlist. I'll see you in the next video. Happy writing!